Okay, so let's go into just a little bit of science and history and anthropology. When Jill Bolte Taylor comes out and does her talk, and you should really get on and follow her a little bit just to see, because she's actually a scientist. I'm just talking about scientists and scientific discoveries. So she comes out and she's holding an actual brain. I don't actually happen to have a brain because I'm not a brain scientist, so they don't let me have one. But you've probably seen pictures of the brain before, and it's got, it's like our upper lobes are really very big, and the bottom lobes are very small, and there's a left bottom and a right bottom, and then there's a left top and a right top. And millions of years ago, anthropologists love to like gather skulls and figure out who came when and who went did what. And human being, our ancestors, millions of years ago, were actually standing upright and running around through the woods, and they had small little brains, a little left and a little right brain. And then over time, as our brains kept evolving and we kept getting smarter and smarter, quote, quote, evolution doesn't happen by going, this is a really good idea. Let's start all over and build it from the bottom. No, what happens is things just kind of add on and add on and add on. So over time, just slowly, it kept being advantageous for the left brain and the right brain to get a little bit bigger, and they always got bigger together. There wasn't a situation where, oh, the left brain got really big and then the right brain caught up, or the right brain got big and then the left brain caught up. And there's all sorts of more parts of the brain than the left brain and the right brain. I mean, there's all these nodes and there's all these things. But the most important thing to think is that the whole thing grew at the same time. Now, us here in the modern world, we all grew up and we went to school, and so we got trained and trained and trained in our left brain, critical thinking, uh, logical brain. I mean, and of course we can all admit that for a lot of people that really didn't even work that well. Logical thinking is not really done everywhere all that well. So, but what in the world? Why? What was this right brain like? Why did it keep up? What was its job? Why is it even needed at all? I mean, we have books now, drawing on the right side of the brain, where we try to learn how to use our right brain, and it's kind of like the basic idea of that book is that the right brain is just sitting there, just never doing anything at all, and we have to on purpose try to get out there and get it going. Of course, art, music, all these things do use that part of the brain more than the left part of the brain. But the point I'm trying to make is that both of these things are always going all the time, and they kind of grew together. So why? What why was this mystical brain even needed? Well, and it's because it's way more than just mystical. That is where we picture things and we see things, and we kind of put things together. And it's the thing that we use for spatial. You know, words aren't necessary for that part of the brain, and that's why it works so easily without words. Just think how human beings lived for millions of years as our brain kept growing bigger and bigger. Everything that we used, we made. Tanning a hide. I mean, imagine what it takes, the concentration it takes to sit there and chip away at a stone and make it into a perfect arrowhead. I mean, you watch, there's lots of people, you can get on YouTube and you can watch people, how to make an arrowhead, and they're doing it pretty fast. But it took years and years and years of hitting the stone, figuring out exactly how do you hit and how does it split apart. Think how much work it is to tan a hide. I don't know if you've ever done that. I've done that. That is, tedious. Spinning wool, weaving. I mean, even knitting what we knit today. Walking around. How are you able to walk out of your house and go on a walk and then just turn around and then just come back to your house? How do you find it again? You don't sit there and think, oh, well, I've got to turn left on 3rd and right on Main Street or whatever. You just walk home. You're able to just do that. So what I am proposing to you is that even today, where we feel so imbalanced, because we're not creative like we used to have to be all day long making things, but I propose that both sides of our brain are operating all the time. And so what this means is that mystical experience is happening all the time, whether you see it or not. And because it never goes away. In that mystical experience, there's no experience of time. There's no words. Nothing's describing anything. So it feels kind of silent, but it's always there. So let's do a couple of experiments to prove it in our next video.